Good evening, District 18 Toastmasters. My name is Benjamin Christ, your District Director, and I want to welcome each of you to our District 18 Mastery Monday presentation. Mastery Monday takes place on the fourth Monday of every month from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on this Toastmasters Zoom channel. The link can be found on the District 18 calendar or the Mastery Monday page accessed from the Education and Training tab. Mastery Mondays is a forum for Toastmasters members to take part in a dynamic presentation where they are given the opportunity to grow their own communication and leadership skills, and tonight is no different. In fact, you are in for quite a treat. But before I introduce our speakers for this evening, I want to go over our disclaimer as well as some virtual housekeeping etiquette. By attending this Mastery Monday presentation, you give permission for your image and voice to be recorded. This recording, however, will only be used as reference material by other Toastmasters and will not be available to the general public. Also, please ensure your microphone is muted in order to eliminate any background noise or distractions for our presenters. There will be an opportunity for you to unmute and ask questions when instructed to do so. With that out of the way, on to our main event. Tonight, we have two presentations. First is Cristol Johnson, DTM. Cristol Johnson, is a past district director for District 18 Toastmasters, which serves the Maryland, Delaware, Eastern Shore, Baltimore, Maryland, Annapolis, Maryland, and a small part of West Virginia and Pennsylvania. She has held every club office at least once and served as Area 16 governor in Division A. While serving as district director during the 2019-2020 Toastmasters year, she saw how many lives were positively impacted by Toastmasters, especially during the tumultuous beginning stages of the pandemic. Cristol has a bachelor's degree in fine arts from the University of Delaware, a master's degree in criminal justice leadership from Wilmington University, and has won Toastmasters Excellence in Program Quality Award for the 2018-2019 year. She has given professional talks at corporate events and has volunteered to be a speaking coach to the Special Olympics Delaware athletes for 5 years. She has recently tried her hand at stand-up comedy by graduating from Helium, Philadelphia's Comedy Academy in December of 2021. She's here today to share with you what she learned along her journey. And our second presenter today will be Nora Wade. Nora joined Toastmasters in April 2016 because she wanted to conquer her fear of public speaking. Thanks to the amazing Toastmasters program and her fellow Toastmasters, she slayed her fear. She stays in Toastmasters because she wants to help others defeat their fears while having fun at the same time. One of the newest tools in her toolbox is Improv, and she is excited to be able to share it with you today. I now turn over the first portion of our event this evening to our past district director, Cristol Johnson, DTM. Cristol, the virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you, Ben. Good evening, everyone. Happy day for those of you that are watching the recording. Like Ben said, my name is Cristol Johnson, and I am a brand new graduate of the Helium Comedy Academy. Still a Toastmaster, but what I'd like to do is just give you all an introduction to stand-up comedy. This isn't a class or what it's like to be a stand-up comedian or training to make you funny, but it's just an insider's peek into what it's like. Stand-up comedy featuring you. Let's put you on the stage for you to tell your best jokes. How do you think you'll do? You won't know until you try. So when you're on stage, what works? We know what it's like to be Toastmasters and give speeches, but what do you think would work for you if you decided to try your hand at stand-up comedy? You could try jokes, stunts, pranks, stories, which is our golden section, you'll see the star there, or tall tales. Well, what is a joke? That was a joke. I could see some of you looking to see, is her microphone mute? Is she muted? I can't hear her all of a sudden. That was a simple joke. Jokes and word fun. So a joke is a thing that's said to cause amusement. I found this definition on Wikipedia. But you've just learned that a joke is a thing that is communicated to cause amusement. So I actually wasn't speaking. You couldn't hear me, but you knew I was playing a joke on you. So a joke we know from childhood. Why did the chicken cross the road? I'll ask you all to use the chat. You can put your answer in. There are no right or wrong answers. Or if you want to do wrong answers only, you can do that. Why did the chicken cross the road? I'll tell you a quick story. I was on my way to the Polo outlet to purchase a hoodie. I had $50. I was so excited. This was during the pandemic, and we knew that the Polo outlet was open because they sent me an email and a coupon. So rather than take the toll road, I decided to go down Levels Road, which is the countryest road in the world. As I'm riding down the road, I see a large crane flying past my car with a chicken in his mouth that he picked up from the farm next door. So I got to the Polo outlet and I'm thinking, what did I see? What was that? It didn't make any sense. I also saw that the hoodies were $150. So I don't know what was funnier. The thought of, did that crane pick up a spouse or did he pick up dinner? Or the thought that I would get a hoodie for $50. I did end up going to another store. But what do you think? Why did the chicken cross the road? Let's see what we have in the chat. So we have to get to the other side. He was late for an appointment and the light was green. So all of these would work on stage. It all depends on your delivery. I also heard there were some answers because his spouse was chasing him, but the story I told you was a true story. I really did see a crane flying off into the wind with a chicken in his mouth. Spouse, dinner, who knows? One-liners. I actually took a class at Helium, and when we were asked to speak first, I went in with a story. But I noticed everyone else in my class did a series of one-liners, as you would see when you watch stand-up comedy on TV. So what is a one-liner? We know that these are forbidden in the Humorous speech contest. But when you're in a comedy club, these are what are preferred because they're fast. A one-liner joke is 2 sentences or less. A joke is a thing that's communicated to cause amusement, remember? So here's an example of a one-liner. Light travels faster than sound, which is the reason some people appear bright before you hear them speak. So now you have the opportunity to drop your favorite Toastmasters appropriate one-liner in the chat. If you don't have any, I will cheat and drop a link to a website where you can find some. Pick one out that you prefer, that you like, and drop that in the chat. Stunts also work on stage. Slapstick, it's physical routine. Some of you may remember the Three Stooges. This is where you'll see cartwheels on stage, clowns on unicycles, juggling. What I wanted to do with these slides is introduce you to some comedians who are known for these types of performances. So for slapstick, you can get to know comedians Buster Keaton and Arnez J. They are known for their slapstick and routines. And you'll learn that when you're studying comedy, there is a lot of research involved. So don't be afraid of that. For props, using props in your talk, using props on stage. Some of you may remember the comedian Gallagher. He'll take a table, he'll put a watermelon on the table, he'll dress the whole front row in plastic, and he will commence to beat the watermelon with the sledgehammer. Why? Who knows? It's funny though, and it works. Some comedians use music on stage. Get to know comedians Tom Lehrer and Jade Catapretta. Tom was known for his song and his instruments on stage, and Jade sings on stage while she's performing. She does song and dance, and she will rap for you. I actually had the pleasure of seeing her live at Helium in Philadelphia. And magic on stage, pulling rabbits out of hats, doing other illusions. Get to know comedian and actor Steve Martin. A simple Google search will bring up some of their routines on YouTube, and you can enjoy watching those. Now, what we do as Toastmasters, tall tales and stories. And one thing I want to tell you, Toastmasters do make great comedians. We already have it in us to be on stage and to be able to get our thoughts out without our brains stopping. Now, here are some tips. When you're in a comedic setting, your audience will expect you to get to the point faster. So if you're telling a story, rather than bog down the story with all the details, they want the one-liner from that story. So you can also thread one-liners through your talk. And you can do this with any speech that you have. Keep speaking if your jokes don't land. If you expected the audience to fall out of their chairs and roll down the aisles and they didn't, don't look like a deer in headlights. Nobody's laughing. Just keep speaking like we were taught to do as Toastmasters. And do not discard any of your speeches. Any of your speeches can be taken and turned into a stand-up comedy set. One thing I do want to mention is there is a fee for this fun. So when you go to a venue, you'll want to take money for parking, take money for your either 2 drink minimum or 2 item minimum that you'll be required to buy when you enter the venue. And then in some cases, there are ticket prices. You might need to, if you're doing open mic night, purchase a ticket for $5 or less. Or if you're just out indulging in stand-up comedy, you just want to listen to other seasoned comedy performances, tickets run between $30 and less. So have a little bit of cash on hand. Do's and don'ts of comedy. Some of these are pretty obvious. Main thing for you is do be a Toastmaster. Do be polite. Do show up on time. Do think about what you're going to wear. Now, I won't read all of them because this is being recorded and you can go back to these slides at any time. But one thing that you want to remember is important, very, very important, are the don'ts. So if you sign up for open mic night, don't arrive late. Your spot will be taken. There is a stoplight in comedy to tell you when your time is up. When that light comes on, you stop. It's not like Toastmasters where we get a 30-second buffer. Some clubs will have a buffer for you to use. They'll tell you when we flash the light 1 minute, when it's on, stop. But when that light comes on, stop. Otherwise, you're stealing time from other comedians. Don't forget to develop rapport with the audience. And don't overestimate or underestimate yourself. And the one main rule of comedy, so this is the first rule, don't run the light was the second rule, is don't use someone else's material or jokes on stage. We can use them here in our forum, but when you go on stage, Toastmasters are best to stick to our stories and then thread our one-liners through our stories. That's what I've learned to do. What are you all thinking so far? Thinking about giving stand-up comedy a try? Thumbs up, thumbs down? What do you think? So you'll notice here, I'm not going to read these points here, but life happens only once. So if you're thinking about doing it, just do it. See what it's like, see how it feels. So my why did I decide to join? I wanted to celebrate emerging from the pandemic. I felt that we had a lot of despair. A lot of things went wrong within the last 2 years, a lot of disappointment, a lot of hurt. So why not try something new? And why not do something to laugh a little bit more? Who doesn't need a little bit more laughter, right? And where do I get my lunacy from? Particularly my dad and my grandmother. My father was a master storyteller and a magician. He would point to me and say, "Come here." And I would walk over to him and he would do this. And he would present me with a quarter that he pulled out of my ear. And I'm like, where was that? How come I can't pull quarters out of my ear? And I'm thinking, wow, maybe if I walk to you every day and you pull a quarter out of my ear, we can just be rich, right? But he was able to do that. And he was able to tell us stories from his childhood, from his time serving in the military, and we were all entertained. And I said to myself, I want to be a good storyteller like my father, which is one of the reasons why I joined Toastmasters. And my grandmother, she was very quick-witted and brutally honest. We all know those people, right? We all have those relatives. But she was brutally honest, definitely with a heavy dose of love and sugar. But she could make a whole room burst with laughter. But some things that I know to be true. When you start off trying your hand at stand-up comedy, you will feel that you are out of your league. It will feel like a whole new world, and you'll wonder, what in the world am I doing here? You will be more nervous, a lot more nervous than you are in Toastmasters. Why? Because you can be booed. You're not in a supportive environment. You are out in the public. And the people whom you are speaking to may be intoxicated. So you just want to find something that you can do for yourself to calm those nerves. Our instructor warned us, don't throw back a bunch of wine and booze before you get on stage because A, it's going to mess up your talk, B, it's not good for you, and C, you don't want to create habits like that. But figure out what will work for you to calm your nerves. And here's something I want you to know for yourself. Your Toastmasters practice will give you a unique position if you do decide to try stand-up comedy. When I first went on stage, the feedback I got was, you're comfortable up there. And I'm thinking, I should be funny too. Just comfortable? I've been in Toastmasters for 15 years. If I only look comfortable, I need to work on that. So that's why I decided to try stand-up comedy. But as a Toastmaster, you will have an edge. You will have a unique position. Take advantage of that. It's like the major league pitcher showing up to coach the little league team. And he doesn't say that he's a major league pitcher. One thing else I know to be true, you will write and rewrite hundreds of times and rewrite again. That's why we tell you to keep your old speeches. And trying stand-up comedy will make you a better Toastmaster because you're outside of your comfort zone. It's something new. It's a new audience and it's a new experience. So this is what the stage looks like at Helium, Philadelphia. You'll notice there is a stool all the way in the center of the picture and a microphone stand. 2 projectors on the side, and then you'll see the seating. And yes, it is always that dark. When you're on stage, you will have purple lights in your face. You won't be able to see your audience. And it'll be your job to entertain that audience. So I want to tell you about my 2 experiences at open mic night. So the first night I went, took a half day at work, was painting before, got paint all over my clothes, and then I had to figure, okay, well, I can't go on stage with just a few paint spots, so I'll need to put more paint on my clothes. So I actually made it look intentional. Was so nervous, drove up to Philadelphia, just shaking like at the wheel, like, oh my God. So I get there, standing outside, it's January, it's cold, the door's locked. A few other people join us. We're all freezing, waiting to get in. And there's a gentleman there, and he starts telling me his jokes. He's telling me his material. So I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, let him practice, so when we get in, he'll be ready to go. I won't be as nervous because I'll be listening to him. And he's going on and on and on and on. So finally, he looks at me and he says, I probably shouldn't be telling you all my jokes. You might steal my material. And I'm thinking, I'm doing really good if I get in there and I can remember your stuff and my stuff. Because as soon as I hit that stage, I forget. The night of my graduation, I walked out, forgot everything I was supposed to say. But as a Toastmaster, I knew just to give myself a few seconds, get some oxygen in the brain, take a deep breath, and then it all came back. So as Toastmasters, we know how to cope. But yeah, I'm doing really good if I can remember your stuff and my stuff. But yes, this is what it looks like. And if you're interested, Helium offers a class and you can sign up there. There are other places that you can sign up as well. I also want to let you know that we will be doing Humorous speech to open mic night at the conference on Saturday. So I encourage you to join in on that talk as well. You get a little bit more insight as to how to turn your speeches into comedy gold. And it'll be a great time for all. Check the chat and see if we have any one-liners. What does the gingerbread man use on his bread? Cookie sheets. And the funny thing is, these one-liners can be developed into a 2 to 3 minute comedy set. In Helium at open mic night, you'll get 2 minutes or 3 minutes. If you're at a special event, you may get 5 minutes, and they're doing the Philly is Funniest competition. I believe at most you'll get 7 minutes if you get to the semifinal rounds. I asked my date to meet me at the gym today. She didn't show up. That's when I knew we weren't going to work out. That's a good one. And from Bill, I'm great at multitasking. I can waste time, be unproductive, and procrastinate all at the same time. And Edka, is it okay to use a quote before and after a speech? It is okay to quote other comedians if you're going to use their material, but you want to be careful about that because, again, it's not Toastmasters. And in some cases, if somebody believes that they've heard it before, they may decide that they want to pull the attention away from you and begin to heckle you. But if you ever run into those situations, just rely on security. They'll handle it for you. All right, so that is my 20 minutes. I am now going to hand the presentation rights over to Nora Wade, and she is going to talk about Introduction to Improv.
Gosh, darling, I got off to a bad start. I muted myself. Hello, my friends. I am so excited to be here today to introduce you to one of my favorite hobbies, improv. Improv has helped me tremendously as a Toastmaster, and I think it can help anyone. And first, I'd like to start off with a thought experiment. I want you to close your eyes and imagine You were on a stage, bright lights shining down in your face. You look out in the audience and you see a sea of faces, complete strangers staring back at you, waiting for you to speak. However, you don't know what you're going to speak about until they give you a suggestion. Now, my friends, does that sound like a nightmare to you or a dream? That setting I just described is the setting for improv acting. And I hope that by the end of our little chat, you will be excited to try it for yourself. Now, I first want to talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to give you a little bit of my story, my how and why I decided to do improv. Can everyone see my screen? I'm sorry, I just saw a weird message. Uh-oh. You can? Okay, great. You can see the agenda, correct? No. Ooh. All right. Let me.
Main slide, intro to improv.
Yeah, I apologize. Technical difficulties. Let me try that again. Now can you see the agenda? Ah, there we are. We're back in business. I'm going to give you a little bit of a description of what is improv. And then I'm going to talk about something that we're a little familiar with. How does improv relate to something we already know? Table topics. I'll give you a few resources, and then I want to play a game with you to give you a taste of improv and something you can take back right away to your clubs. And if I can stop running my mouth, we'll have some time for some questions. So first, let's talk about me. Where did I get this idea from? And why would I do such a thing? Why would I even want to try improv? So the next slide I'm going to show you pretty much sums up my journey in Toastmasters. There is the before Toastmasters me, and then there's the now me. Before Toastmasters, I'm like Mr. British Shorthair here, terrified of public speaking. I didn't want to do it. But now I am confident. I can get up on stage and speak in front of people. And in fact, spoiler alert, this little picture you see here, that's me on stage in front of a live audience doing improv. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So when I joined Toastmasters, like I said, I was terrified of public speaking, but Toastmasters has an amazing program and equally amazing people. And I have learned so much from the people I've met in Toastmasters. And I learned about improv from one such Toastmaster. His name is John Zimmer. And I met him at the Toastmasters International Convention in 2016, where he gave a presentation about improv. And I was mesmerized by it and so excited about the idea, but I still wasn't ready to try it. I still felt scared, but I did not forget about this idea. I put it in the back of my mind and waited. And a few years later, I was ready to try it. Why is that? Well, I had reached a point in my Toastmasters journey where I was a little frustrated at my progress. I was giving speeches, doing well, but I noticed that I struggled to create a speech in less than a week. I simply couldn't do it. There was some barrier in my mind that prevented me from creating speeches faster and in the moment. And then I remembered, improv, let me try it. And I looked around in my neighborhood, and as luck would have it, there's a theater in my neighborhood that offered an improv class. I signed up for a 12-week course in short form improv. At first, I was a little nervous. Ooh, making stuff up, oh my goodness. But I remembered my Toastmasters skills, and those helped me. And by the 12th week, you see me performing in front of a live audience, playing the role of a shopkeeper, which was a short form improv game. And I was exhilarated. I did well that night. I was even surprised myself. And the very next day, I had a Toastmasters meeting. And it turned out a speaker had dropped out at the last possible minute. I had less than an hour to create a 5 to 7 minute speech. And I said, I'm ready. I'm going to do it. And I did it. I got up in front of my club and gave an improvised 5 to 7 minute speech on improv. And I knew that I had broken through that blockade. I was ready to try anything. And this is why I encourage everyone to try it. So I'm excited today because I'm going to tell you more about improv, and then I'm going to give you an exercise that you can work on right now. Now I hear you saying, Nora, tell me more. What is improv? Well, I will tell you. Look at this. There's a definition right here. Improv is a form of theater, often comedy, where performers make up the performance on the spot. What does that mean? It's like creating a scene in a movie, but there's no script, no rehearsal, no sets, no special effects. You get the idea. And it starts usually with an audience suggestion. You're thinking, who knows what they're going to tell us? But this is where it becomes exciting and unpredictable. And this is where a lot of humor comes from in improv, because you take an audience suggestion and you create something from nothing. And the fun is seeing where your suggestion goes. Now, some of you may have heard the expression, yes, and I consider that to be the foundational phrase of improv. What does it mean? It means that, yes, I agree with what my fellow performers are doing. And now I'm going to add to it. We are collaborating together on this story, and we support each other. We have to be at full attention, actively listening to what our fellow performers are doing and watching what they're doing as well. There really isn't time to think ahead or rehearse, which is why in improv, it's not about telling jokes or setting up a really funny punchline. You can't do that in improv because you don't know what your fellow performers are going to do. You have to go with the flow. And another thing that you generally don't do in improv is ask questions. Well, why not ask questions? Asking questions forces your fellow scene partners to stop and think. It slows down the performance. And as I said, improv is so unpredictable. Now, maybe you're thinking, Nora, this sounds vaguely familiar. I think I've heard of something like this before in Toastmasters. And you're right. Why? That sounds like table topics. Oh my goodness. We actually have a little bit of experience with improv, just a different flavor. Improv and table topics have a lot in common. There's an unknown topic. We don't know what we're going to talk about until it's given to us. You have little time to think and collect your thoughts. You have to be quick. You also have to know your audience. And this is somewhat important in improv, especially if you're thinking about telling certain types of adult jokes or subject matter that's adult in nature. So you always want to watch out for the kids in the audience. But here's where they start to differ. In table topics, there's one person, a table topics master, who's asking questions usually. But in improv, there's the audience, and they're not asking questions. They're simply throwing something out there. The suggestion could be speed skating on the moon, and you have to go with it. In table topics, there's a single speaker, one person speaking at a time. But in improv, there are multiple speakers interacting with each other, like acting in a movie, multiple people in a scene. In table topics, you speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Improv, you just keep speaking. It's an unknown amount of time. And table topics is typically grounded in reality, questions about things you've done, seen, experienced. Whereas in improv, it is completely made up. Again, the suggestion could be UFOs just landed in your backyard. And then you have to create something from that. But the good news is the skills you learn in Toastmasters can also be used in improv. What skills are those? Vocal variety, your word choices, use of body movement and gestures. And let's face it, in Toastmasters, we're experienced with table topics. That gives you a little leg up in improv. And as Crystal alluded to, we sometimes tell stories in Toastmasters. We also sometimes do a tall tales contest. So there are opportunities in Toastmasters to make stuff up. But I propose that you can do that more often than simply telling a story or doing a tall tales contest. Now I can hear you saying, Nora, I'm really liking this improv thing. I want to learn more. Tell me more. And I've compiled a list for you, a few well-curated resources to get you started on improv. And I will mention an absolute favorite of mine is the TV show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? That is an example of short form improv. It is hilarious. But now I do not want to delay. There is more coming, as I promised. I want to play a game with you. I want to give you a taste of improv, to give you a little exercise that you can take to your club tomorrow and introduce to your club members. Are you excited? I know I'm excited. Let's see some excitement. But you know what I need? I'm going to need volunteers. Yeah. Could I get maybe 4 volunteers? If you're thinking about playing, what I need you to do is rename yourself to player 1, player 2, player 3, or player 4. So let's see if I have a few brave souls out there. And the game I'm going to talk about is not exactly what you would see performed on stage, but it's close enough to give you a taste of what improv is like. And if you have more time in a club meeting, you can always expand it into a full-blown improv game. Oh, okay, I apologize. This is a crowded slide, but every word on this slide is needed because this is how the game is going to work. And what I did is I drew inspiration from a long form game called the Armando, and you don't need to worry about the details of that. If you want to look it up later, you can. But what we're going to do together, the 4 players and me, is create a scene based on an audience suggestion. The suggestion is going to be, could be anything. It's not a question, it's just a suggestion. It could be a place, an event, a thing. And then I, as the table topics master, will start the scene based on the suggestion. I will speak for 1 to 2 minutes, and then I will leave the scene. And right after I leave the scene, player 1 enters as a character in this story that I've started. They become a different character from me that belongs in the story. And they will speak for 1 to 2 minutes as the character. And then they leave. Player 2 comes on as a different character speaks for 1 to 2 minutes as this character, then they leave. And it continues until you get to the end of all the players. And once the last player leaves the scene, I come on and say, end scene. Now, what do I mean by entering the scene, leaving the scene? Well, if we were in a live setting with a stage, entering and leaving means entering and leaving the stage. So you come on stage, you go off stage. But since we're online, the way we represent that is we turn our camera on to come on stage and we turn our camera off to go off stage. So do I have any volunteers? I'm going to stop sharing my screen in a moment, but I wanted to emphasize that when I say character, it doesn't just have to, it can be more than a person. It can be an animal, an object, anything that fits within the scene that's being built. So remember, we are collaborating together. We're not speaking together, but we're still collaborating together to build out this story with different characters. And so for this game, I am going to need some table topics timing, 1 to 2 minutes for each speaker. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now so I can see all of your beautiful faces. I see a player 2. Oh, player 3. Wait, player 4. Okay. Oh, someone's spelling out the numbers instead of writing them as symbols. Okay. All right. You can be different. That's okay. I don't mind. Does everyone understand the rules? Okay, for all of my players, you are now going off stage. So I want you to turn your cameras off. Everyone else can leave their cameras on, but your audio off. Great. Now I am going to need one brave soul to give me a suggestion. You can shout it out.
International House of Pancakes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should have clarified. It cannot be one of the players giving me the suggestion. You're a player, not an audience member. I need an audience member. Bill or Wen Fei or district director, someone else want to give me a suggestion?
How about shopping at Walmart?
Shopping at Walmart. The suggestion is shopping at Walmart. Thank goodness Walmart is open so late. Oh my God, I ran out of cat food again. I cannot believe how much my cats eat. They're going to eat me out of my house. It's unbelievable. I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month on my cats, but I love them so. That's why I'm here at midnight, getting more cat food for them. My beautiful babies, Taz and Riley and Sophie. I don't want their bellies to be growling. So I'm here going down the aisles. Oh, look, I know him. He's my next door neighbor. He's got 5 dogs. Oh my God. And they eat so much food. I can't believe it. I don't know how he affords it. So, oh goodness, this store is huge. Why did they put the cat food in the back? Oh my God. But you know what? I just remembered my doctor told me I need to get more exercise. It's important to get my steps in because gosh, you know, I put on a few pounds the last year or so. I've got to exercise some more. And oh, there's some potato chips. Oh, I haven't seen that brand in a while. Should I get some? Okay, I'm here. It's midnight. I'm getting some from me too. Going around the corner. The favorite cat food is out. Oh my God. They're going to be so mad at me. I'm going to go home and see their disappointed faces. Mommy, where's her favorite cat food? I have no choice. I just have to get something. Okay. I got to prepare my list of excuses, my explanations for my cats. Let me pull up to the nearest register. Oh, where are all the registers? Everything's self-checkout now. It's on the other end of the store. Oh my God. Finally, I'm paying. Oh my God. Hi, Bill. Nice to see you. Good luck with all those dogs. I got to go now because I have to rush home. Thanks for listening to my complaints.
Ah! Where's my food? I cannot believe that Nora went out and left me alone and hungry. Where am I gonna find food? That damn dog ate up all my food. I see this mouse. Is this edible? Do you guys know where to find food? What is going on? Ah! And it is so hungry. And where's the water? Who ate the water? Somebody spilled the water? I cannot believe this. And what time is it? Midnight. Oh my God. I am going to die.
Bling, 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 bling. Nora, I'm at your house and I swear to God, the cat just died. He had a conniption. He couldn't take it because there wasn't enough food. The dogs lapped up all the water again. When are you getting home? Are you stuck in Walmart hell? What is going on? Do I need to come over there with a weapon and save you? Nora, I'm telling you, you better get home soon. This cat looks like he had a stroke. He is so freaked out that there's no food and no water. He's been walking around the house screaming beyond belief. And oh, by the way, we have a mouse in the house. Just to let you know. I think he decided to go eat the mouse, but he wasn't 100% sure. He just flopped over next to the dishes like he just couldn't go on any further. I'm telling you, I'm worried about this cat.
Walmart says save money, live better. I am going back to Walmart and I'm going to buy some more food for this cat. What's the price for this food? This is so much money. I'm not saving money. What are you talking about? Save money, live better. Okay, I'm just going to pick up two cans of food. Let me go to the cashier. Oh, this line is shorter. This line is shorter. I'm going to get out of this line. I'm going to choose this line. The person in front of me, now the cashier is telling me, miss, I'm closed. What do you mean you're closed? I've been in this line all this time. Now you're saying you're closed? He said, miss, you didn't look at the sign. You didn't see my light off. Okay, you're right. Let me go in another line. I'm thinking again. Save money, live better. I don't feel as if I'm living better. Well, let me just go buy this food before these cats die. Let me go buy this food. So I'm going to get out of here, buy the food, and I'm going to go home and feed those cats. I fed the cats. The cats want more food. What are they talking about? Okay, I'm going back at Walmart again. I'm going back and buy some more, but next time I'm going to go to a different store because I don't see me saving money. Keep going at Walmart every day. The lines are long. Who is saving money in this store when you're always in the line? Oh, Walmart is saving the money for us. They are cashing up that money for billions of dollars. Okay, Walmart, you got it. You make it convenient for us. I get my cat food. Goodbye, Walmart. No more spending any more money.
Oh, they roll their eyes when they see me coming. Walmart closes at midnight. Here I come at 11:45. Our store will be closing in 15 minutes. Please take your final purchases to the checkout. The checkout will be turned off exactly at 12 o'clock. I repeat, the store will be closing. Is that Nora? Nora! Looks like she got a cart full of cat food. Well, I better get in here and get my stuff before they cut the registers off on me and I'm looking like a fool with a full cart of cookies. They got these really good cookies called Decadent Chocolate Chunk. I was in there a few weeks ago and found a box of Count Chocula. I almost fell out. Walmart had a big pallet of Count Chocula. I should have bought more than one box. It was like $4 though. It was Halloween. You can only get Count Chocula at Halloween. Nora and her cat, she's got some cats. I used to have a dog. I'm glad I don't have to go out in the middle of the night anymore and buy dog food. Now when I go out to Walmart in the middle of the night with my hair all over my head coming in right from work, it's to buy stuff for me and only me and just me. What I like to do, I'll hit the clearance racks first, go check out the shoes, see what kind of flip-flops they have. Wonder what kind of cat food Nora bought. I don't know if her cat's going to be around to indulge in that cat food. I guess we'll figure out. In the meanwhile, I'm going to get my Count Chocula, my cookies. Ooh. 5 minutes to check out. Put my card in. I can see my face on the camera. Check out.
And scene. Woohoo! Well done, folks. Wasn't that fun? And there's all kinds of other little things you can learn about it, like when you're entering, leaving a scene, like when you leave a scene, you give a reason for leaving. Like, oh, soup's boiling over, so it gives you a reason to exit. If you're entering the scenes, like, here I am, Nora, I found the cat food you were looking for. So little things like that you pick up as you learn more about improv. But I thought this would be a nice little way of introducing all of you to improv using the structure of table topics. So you can take this game back to your clubs tomorrow and play with it. Give your fellow club members an opportunity to get that little taste of improv. And if they want to learn more, there are plenty of resources out there. There are classes. It is so much fun. It has opened up so many possibilities for me. So I thank you for letting me share this little part of my life with you. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at any time. I'm happy to visit your clubs and do a little demo if you like. But thank you again. And what I like to say is to try it, because with improv, you can improv your way to improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Nora, for those awesome presentations. They're very thorough, very informative, and quite fun. So thank you very much. Everyone on tonight's call, thank you for joining Mastery Monday. I do hope that you got something out of this, whether it be stand-up or improv or some sort of element of both, or maybe you want to try your hands at both, see which you're better at. But thank you very much for attending. And this concludes our Mastery Monday for this evening. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great week.